So I've attended a couple Christmas parties, holiday parties at year end. Very, very common for my friends and family to have some sort of get together at the end of the year just to celebrate, our loved ones and family and friendships and, just time to get together. But, as you can imagine, it's not a secret what I do with my retirement. One of my hobbies is making these YouTube videos, and it's kind of an interesting topic. I never bring it up, but I always find myself with 2 to 3 individuals that tell me why they're continuing to work. They start the conversation. I don't. 100% of the time, the first thing, first argument, not argument, but first point around why they're continuing to work is, I love my job. I always reply, hey, I love my job too. I love my career. I choose it again. I love being an engineer. I love transitioning into management. It was challenging, pushed me to the limits. I felt like I was making an impact, but I was wanting to start a new journey. I did that for 32 years. It's pretty naive for me to think that's the only thing that I could be happy doing or would be the happiest doing. So, hey, let's start a new chapter of my life or a whole new journey and find some other interest where I can control 100% of my time. That's kind of how the conversation goes. But as it continues, there are some common themes that come up that I wanted to cover here and just challenge you on them. There are 13 poor assumptions that I think people that are still working make about retiring, especially retiring early. So poor assumptions people have when they're still working of what it's like to be retired. Number one is, I'm not under stress. They say that they're not under stress. I think that is a poor assumption. Based on firsthand experience, I would have said that. I would have laughed at you if you would have said I was under stress. I completely missed this one while I was working. Didn't realize it till after I was retired. You got the alarm clock, you got deadlines, expectations, meetings, reports. There's competition at work. Don't tell me there's not competition at work for recognition, for the promotion. Everybody's got it. That goes away. Big deal, okay? Second misunderstanding is there's plenty of time to focus on health. I talk to people that I'm planning on working until I'm 67 or 70 years old, and they make the assumption that they're going to be in the same health as they are now 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what if I'm normal, a normal human, if I'm 65 now, what is my physical condition going to be when I'm 70 or 75? It's probably going to get worse, okay? Now, if you retire and you start exercising, watching what you eat, you can extend that. You can be more of an exception. And every one of you I know have had, hey, I've got this neighbor down the street, they're vibrant at 85. Okay, maybe you'll be that lucky one. But assuming you're going to be that healthy one, the odds aren't with you. So you're burning your most healthy years, your youngest years, disease-free years. You're burning those and exchanging that for money. So plenty of time to focus on health, maybe not. I restated I love my job here because it continues to come up, be given reasons why they're still working, and I love my job works its way back in. Like I said, I've said that it's kind of social convention, to use the words love in a job, but that's not correct. You love people, not things. I was challenged at work. I did well at work, got paid well at work, but being retired 6 years, I don't say I loved my job. I love people, love family, not my job. I will be bored. I'm still waiting for that day. I'm 6 years into retirement, and There are some slow days, like in the wintertime especially. It's rainy outside and maybe I don't feel like doing a lot, and I could spend some time on YouTube learning some things or listening to an audiobook, and you may watch me and observe me for the day and say, boy, that was a pretty boring day, but boring days in retirement are pretty sweet. I look forward to boring. Number 5, misunderstanding that people have about retirement is one more year will strengthen my plan. Yes, that's true. Always makes sense to work one more year. But at what cost? We talked about the cost of time. You're trading time for money. And eventually everybody has to reverse that decision and start to value your time. Maybe it's at 85. But, I encourage you to think about doing it earlier. Not too many people regret retiring early. Number 6 misunderstanding that people have is it's all about money. Actually, I spend very little of my time focusing on managing my assets. I probably spend 3 hours once a quarter. So every 3 months, I spend about 3 hours digging into it, running models, getting confidence to spend, seeing if I need to make any changes, Roth conversions, thinking about that. But most of my time, and I didn't realize this going into retirement, is what am I going to do with my day? Where do I want to spend it? Because every day is written in pencil, not in ink. I don't have anything firm on my calendars I have to do, or rarely do. I don't even make these videos on any kind of schedule, just whenever I feel inspired to put out some new content. Number 7, there's no good medical options. I need to work till Medicare here in the United States to get a good medical option. I got videos on this, and I got like my top 10 or 12 videos down there, common videos people ask me about. I've got 740 videos out there. I've covered a lot of material, but I got one on medical. Check it out. There are a lot of options out there, including the Affordable Care Act. I use Farm Bureau as a health plan that I've been on for maybe 5 years now. There are good medical options out there. Number 8, I can go it alone. So many people think they can plan for their retirement without any expert assistance. I think that is, I've got overwhelming evidence that's a mistake. I interact with so many people on this channel via email. When I did retirement coaching of over 300 people, it is overwhelming to me the benefits of getting somebody else's eyes on your plan. Overwhelming. And that confidence, I believe, or overconfidence, comes from you're able to save by yourself. Well, saving's easy, folks. You put 10% of your income, in your IRA, you get a company match of 6%, you're saving 16%, you increase that 1% every year or every increase or promotion you get, and you put it in the total stock market, you do that for 35 years. Decumulation, there's a lot more decisions to be made, and they all are interrelated. It's very complex. It can be managed. There are experts on it. Your plan's going to be wrong, but you need to know the levers to pull to get it back on track and make the best of a bad situation, like if the market goes down 30%. But going it alone is a major mistake. I've got a lot of options and other videos around how not to go it alone. Not going to go into it here. Number 9, misunderstanding is assuming you're going to continue to maximize returns. So you create a retirement plan and you just, hey, I'm 100% stock market now. While I'm working, I'm going to be 100% when I'm retired. Spoken like somebody that's working. Wait till you have your income is cut off and you have to live off your assets. You're going to start digging a moat around your nest egg, some razor wire, and so you're going to get a little more conservative in your investing. I had 100% stocks till about 5 years before I retired, and I started to transition towards retiring early. Number 10 assumption that people have, misunderstanding, is, I'm going to retire and do nothing. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to do nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, for most people, you may be the exception again, most people are going to be bored to death with that. They're going to want some socialization. They're going to want some sense of accomplishment. They're going to want to get involved in their community, be around family, travel. They're going to want to do a variety of things. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I've experienced myself and talking with literally thousands of people. I don't know anybody that just goes to the beach every day and sips on a Corona with lime. So another misunderstanding, I need $1 million. I don't know where these values come from, but you see it all the time on YouTube videos. You need $1 million to retire. You need $2 million to retire. It all starts with expenses. People that spend $50,000 need a different amount to retire than people, or that have $50,000 a year of expenses need a different amount than people that spend $200,000 a year in expenses. And I've seen both. Now, don't panic and say, gosh, who spends $200,000? Well, those people are out there. Number 12, misunderstanding. I can handle market crashes. No big deal. I've handled the .com. I've lived through the great financial crisis. I know what market crashes are like, and I can maintain my plan through that. Well, spoken like somebody that's working. When you're working and the stock market goes down by 40%, you're just buying low and you just keep your head down, don't check your asset balance for 3 years, and voila, you're back to normal, right? Or 5 years or even 10 years for the great financial crisis and .com combined. Just keep on working. But when you're not working and you see, if you have $1 million, just for, use a number, and you see that go to $500,000, that's 100 times the impact. That's a gut check. And can your plan protect you against that? So it's a very common misunderstanding I see is overconfidence in handling market crashes. And number 13 is ignoring inflation. Isn't that just a couple, 3% a year? No big deal. I'll just, inflation, I need to worry about it. Well, it's starting to get more important when you take your plan that solves perfectly with a Monte Carlo of 95% at 2.5% inflation, put 5% in there, put 6% in there, and you put that in there, your 95% Monte Carlo will go down to like 40. Because things compound, inflation compounds. If the price of eggs goes up from $2 a dozen to $3 a dozen to $4 a dozen and just keeps going up, your assets won't keep up. So it's a killer out there. How does your plan protect you? I'm telling you, in retirement, inflation is the number one thing I think about when it comes to money. More than it's the start of my thought process around returns and where my money's invested. It's all about inflation. That's how you lose with all the termites of inflation, just chewing away at my assets. Inflation is huge. So those are the 13 common things that I see that working people get wrong about retirement inside of their assumptions. And I thought I'd share them with you today because it's pretty fresh in my mind. Did I miss something that you hear about retirement that really is wrong based on your experience that you had maybe when you were working? You believed this while you're working, and then now that you're retired, it's not true. Just for your experience, okay? So get a conversation going, and maybe I'll make a video from something that you mentioned that I didn't think about for this video. It's Joe out.